Hi everybody, welcome back to another Stoneforge gaming video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new model that I just finished up not that long ago. And this is for my Undead Army. This is the Games Workshop kit, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon / Ghoul on Terrorgeist. The model is a multi-part plastic kit for those of you who haven't really dealt with the large GW kits that they were doing. Well, they're still doing some. Like they just brought out the Archaon kit not that long ago, and some of the new stuff they're doing, like the dwarf guy on Magmadroth or Drake or something like that. Not really sure. Haven't really kept up with Age of Sigmar that much, but. These kits are really cool because they're really posable. You can put them in any sort of positioning that you like. Now I just liked this because I liked it where it looked like he was kind of resting this wing section on this large rock here, and you can see there's some skulls at the base and kind of here and there all around. Let's zoom in there here so you can kind of see those little details. So yeah, you can see it's very GW-like, just skulls and stuff everywhere. But as I say, this was a large undertaking as far as, I mean, just as far as time consuming, because I wanted to take my time on them and do them to a level that I knew I could do. Now, the way I've painted this, I started off with the whole thing with a with my airbrush. I base coated them, base coated, washed, and then dry brushed all the bone, and then I just did all of my bones up. Like I did them all the way up to, was it White Scar or Screaming Skull? One of the two GW white paints, but dry brush that all the way up on all the bone bits, and then after that I had I did a wash in between the base coat and the dry brushes, obviously, just to kind of get some more depth into those kind of recesses and things like that. You can kind of see in there. I think it looks pretty good. But I did all that, and then I started working on the next part that I would be dry brushing a lot, which is the wings here. Now the wings, I did something a little bit different. I wanted to go for that effect that kind of looks like, almost like dried, rotting leather. Like if you were to take a leather jacket and stick it outside for, I don't know, a month or two, and just kind of let all the basically the weather have its way, have like worms be chewing on it, all this different stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to go for. Less of like a live bat wing, and more of like something that's kind of dead and decaying, and just looks very leathery but almost very stringy. And that's why I like these big strands, these big holes here. It looks like it's just falling apart. It looks like it would almost be impossible to actually fly this thing. So I dry brushed that up. I did a lot of mixes, so I went with like a straight black all the way up to this weird grayish. You guys can probably see this pretty well, actually. This kind of almost, I don't know, tan sort of looking color, that really kind of accentuates that sort of dead and decaying look. The flesh here, so the flesh I actually did in two different parts. I did the skin, or the scales I should say, which is like the dragon skin, and then I did like the exposed flesh. So the dragon skin I did with several dry brushes of kind of a black up to like a medium gray, and then I actually washed it with a Nuln Oil gloss wash from Games Workshop. It really helps because it gives it that sort of wet, not even just wet, but like that almost silky sort of scaled look that I was kind of going for, because lizards always kind of look, I don't know, they always look wet and gross, even though they're not necessarily that way. I tend to like lizards. Anyways, So I went with the black dragon skin on this just because it felt like it kind of fit more, especially with the way that the face looked and stuff like that. And then so I finished all the actual dragon skin this way, and then the flesh I did a little bit differently because obviously I painted this up and dry brushed it up. Well, I did more of a layering technique to go up to these high pinks, and then did some washes in between, and then I used my technique for doing blood effects. This is actually done with the same blood effects that you guys can see in my how to do blood effects video. So if you want to check out and see how, like, what exactly I do for blood effects and how exactly I got this technique, you can go over there and check that out. But as far as this goes, I did up all of the flesh, and I wanted it to look all torn up, like almost like this thing had been flayed open and just torn apart. The tongue and the mouth and the teeth I had done all torn up. And I did the inner teeth, well, the upper teeth, I guess I should say, even though that might not make sense, just almost like if it was to chomp onto something and then retract those big teeth, and then the littler teeth would kind of sink in. I also added the blood effects onto this claw over here. And then the base here I did up kind of my Borderlands style, except for if you look, you can actually see how I made all of the plant life recede away from this thing. And my idea is that there's so much necromantic energy surrounding this thing that it's literally killing off the plant life and killing off any of the smaller life forms that would even be around. So there's just so much necromantic energy that it just can't survive. The rock textures here, by the way, I painted them up in a similar style to my how to paint realistic rock or stone. So if you want to go check out that video, that is how I did that. But all in all, this model is an awesome model to put together, paint up. I still haven't finished up the rider, which I did the vampire lord, although I do have the ghoul. And as I say, I went with a zombie dragon, but I mean, absolute delight to paint. GW, I mean, for their big kits like this, I mean, they're definitely top of the line. I mean, you get what you pay for. But they are absolutely amazing at the end of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at this zombie dragon, and I will see you on another Stoneforge gaming video.